everyone. Welcome to On the Case with me, Detective Alex Cardinale, where I break down crimes that shocked America. Today, I am definitely talking about a crime that shocked America. Swatting. Swatting is a prank that video gamers use against their opponents. Swatting is when they call 911 to report a fake or false emergency. Typically, swatting includes kidnapping, shootings, bomb threats, etc. The swatters do this to get a emergency response from police and the SWAT team to their enemy's house. Now, generally speaking, you would not expect someone to die from a prank call or a fake 911 call. But unfortunately, from the infamous swatter Tyler Barriss, someone did die. It was an innocent man that was killed as a result of Tyler Barriss' reckless and stupid SWAT calls. So today's episode of On the Case with Alex Cardinale is all about swatting. Today we're going to learn what exactly swatting is and how it led to someone losing their life. And we're going to learn about the infamous swatter, Tyler Barriss. Mr. Barriss really put a spotlight on swatting, and now police and 911 dispatchers are getting trained monthly on how to deal with what they suspect to be swatting. So hopefully this will never happen again in the future. So this week's crime focuses on California resident swatter Tyler Barriss, who pranked other video gamers. Sadly, his swatting led to the death of an innocent man in 2017 in Wichita, Kansas. Now, I first learned about this crime on the Investigation Discovery series, Web of Lies. And this crime was intriguing to me because I always thought, how can a prank lead to someone's death? Well, when you're calling in a fake 911 call of someone being kidnapped and you shot a man and you're holding the rest of the family hostage, police are going to respond aggressively and they're going to be there quickly, and they're not going to know what exactly they're getting themselves into. So if they see someone rushing out of the house aggressively in a hostage call, their first choice is going to be to assume that that guy is the aggressor, and they got to take him out. And unfortunately, the victim was shot because they thought he was the aggressor during this SWAT case. So, as always, post your thoughts and opinions on this crime in the comments. So, what are your thoughts on this case? Post them in the comments. With that being said, let's go ahead and get this show started. So, we're going to start by answering the question, what is swatting? Well, swatting is a criminal harassment tactic of deceiving an emergency service via such means as hoaxing an emergency services dispatcher into sending a police or emergency service response team to another person's address. This is triggered by false reporting of a serious law enforcement emergency, such as a bomb threat, murder, hostage situation, or a false report of a mental health emergency, such as reporting that a person is allegedly suicidal or homicidal and may or may not be armed, among other things. Making false reports to emergency services is a criminal offense in many jurisdictions, often punishable by fine or imprisonment. So that is what swatting is. Now let's learn about the infamous swatter Tyler Barriss, and then we'll learn about his crimes. So here is what to know about this crime case. We're going to learn about the perpetrator, who is Tyler Barriss. So I want to show you an image of what Tyler Barriss looks like. So here is the perpetrator, Tyler Barriss, in court. This is his court date when he was arraigned, and he found out his sentence. You can see how nervous he looks. Well, he should be nervous because he cost somebody their life with the stupid swatting. And here's another picture of Tyler Barriss on the phone in jail after he killed someone due to his swatting. So that is the perpetrator of this case, Tyler Barriss. Now let's learn some more about Tyler Barriss. In 2017, Tyler Barriss was a 25-year-old homeless man in Los Angeles, California, who had made quite a name for himself in the online community as Swatistic. He already had quite an extensive criminal record with charges of domestic violence and time served for making false bomb threats in LA County. In fact, Tyler was even wanted by the authorities in Panama City, Florida, for calling the emergency services to fake report approximately 30 other bomb threats. And he was also wanted in Canada on charges of fraud and mischief for harassing a woman. His 62-year-old grandmother wrote in a domestic violence case seeking a restraining order against her grandson, Tyler Barriss, in 2015 from a California court that Barriss had made constant threats to beat my face bloody. He also made death threats against the woman, along with threats to destroy her home and dogs. He was ordered to move out of the house they shared and stay away from her, her home, her dogs, her workplace, and vehicle, according to the document. The order was later dismissed when he and his grandmother missed a court hearing. So you can imagine how sick of an individual this Tyler Barriss really is. The LA Times reported that Barriss threatened his grandmother to prevent her from reporting he had called them false bomb threats. So that is everything you should know about Tyler Barriss, the infamous swatter. Now let's talk about the crime, the SWAT call that resulted in this innocent man losing his life. So before we talk about the 2007 Wichita shooting, which is the result from Tyler Barriss's SWAT call, it is very important to note that Tyler Barriss had made numerous swatting calls prior to this deadly one that I'm going to talk about in just a second. Tyler Barriss had made over 100 SWAT calls in many different states, from Massachusetts to New York to California to Florida and even Canada. Tyler Barriss had called those 911 in the cities and towns of those states and even Canada to report fake emergencies. And he was wanted by police in almost all of those states and towns. So he was an infamous swatter. He was the person responsible for the United States of America government to be made more aware of swatting. And I think it's a good thing that now the United States is aware of what a potential SWAT call could be. So let's talk about the biggest SWAT call that Tyler Barriss did, and it was the 2017 Wichita, Kansas call. Now, the 2017 Wichita, Kansas call is referred to now as 2017 Wichita shooting. The 2017 Wichita shooting occurred on December 28th, 2017, in Wichita, Kansas, United States. The incident began as an online dispute between Casey Viner and Shane Gaskill regarding the video game Call of Duty World War II. During the dispute, Viner threatened to have Gaskill swatted, and Gaskill responded by giving him a false address for his residence, one that was occupied by an uninvolved person, and our victim, Andrew Finch. Viner then asked Tyler Barriss to make the required fraudulent call to initiate the swatting. Wichita police responded to the address, and as Andrew Finch was exiting his house, police officer Justin Rapp fatally shot him. Reports surfaced that the deadly series of events reportedly began with an online argument over a $1.50 wager in an online match of Call of Duty World War II on UMG Gaming, which operates online tournaments, including one involving said game. Two men, Casey Viner and Shane Gaskill, fought over friendly fire in the Call of Duty World War II match, causing them to lose both the match and $1.50 in wagers. The two gamers took to Twitter in an argument about the loss. Viner threatened to swat Gaskill over the loss. Gaskill intentionally gave Viner the wrong address, a place in Wichita where he previously resided with his family and where he said he would be waiting. Gaskill's family had been evicted in 2016. Viner then contacted Barriss and provided him with the address given to SWAT Gaskill. Finch was not a known gamer and had nothing to do with the Call of Duty match. Using voice over IP through the free Wi-Fi provided by a South Los Angeles library, Tyler Barriss called the Wichita Police Department. Because the call was transferred from Wichita City Hall to 911, the dispatcher believed the call was coming from the Wichita area. Tyler Barriss, identifying himself as Brian, claimed that he was at the residence at 1033 West McCormick Street, had fatally shot his father, and was holding family members at gunpoint. He asked if police were coming to the house, saying he had already poured gasoline all over the house and was threatening to set it on fire. Wichita Police Department officers who were not SWAT team members, untrained for tactical situation or hostage rescues, responded to Barriss's call and surrounded Finch's residence. Andrew Finch is reported by his mother, Lisa Finch, who is at the scene, to have seen the police lights outside and opened the front door to see what was happening. Miss Finch reports that her 28-year-old son screamed and then they shot him. Moments after Finch stepped onto his front porch, police ordered him to put his hands up. According to officer testimony, he began to do so and then stopped. A Wichita police officer standing on the other side of the street fired a single round, striking Finch and piercing his heart and right lung. Unfortunately, Andrew Finch was transported to St. Francis Hospital, where he was pronounced dead 17 minutes later after he was shot. So, unfortunately, due to Tyler Barriss's idiotic SWAT call, Andrew Finch lost his life. Andrew Finch's mother reports that the police then ordered her and other family members to exit the residence. The family was handcuffed and taken to the police station for questioning. Initial reports from Deputy Waukesha Police Chief Troy Livingston said that a male came to the front door. As he came to the front door, one of our officers discharged his weapon. Livingston did not initially state if Finch was armed or what caused the officer to fire his weapon. In a later statement on December 30th, the Wichita Police Department stated the shooting was caused by Andrew Finch reaching into his waistband. The officer involved was eventually identified as Justin Rapp, a 7-year veteran of the force. Tyler Barriss was arrested on December 29th, 2017, in Los Angeles on a fugitive warrant stemming from a 2015 charge of making false bomb threats to KABC TV and was charged with false alarm, a felony. On January 12, 2018, Tyler Barriss was extradited to Kansas, where he was charged with involuntary manslaughter and held in Sedgwick County Jail. Tyler Barriss, Viner, and Gaskill were indicted in the United States District Court for the District of Kansas on May 23rd on charges related to the swatting. Tyler Barriss was charged with false information and hoax, cyber stalking resulting in death, making threats of death or damage to property by fire, interstate threats, conspiracy to make false reports, and wire fraud. Viner was charged with wire fraud, conspiracy to make false hoax reports, obstruction of justice, and conspiracy to obstruct justice. Gaskill was charged with obstruction of justice, wire fraud, and conspiracy to obstruct justice. Gaskill was re-indicted in July on additional charges after it was discovered that he goaded Tyler Barriss to try again after the fatal shooting. Tyler Barriss was sentenced to 20 years in prison. Tyler Barriss will be spending 20 years behind bars because of his stupid actions, because of his stupid SWAT call. He is living 20 years in prison while Andrew Finch is dead. A father of kids is dead because of someone's stupid, idiotic prank call. Very, very sad case to talk about, and a very, very weird case to talk about. So there you have it. That is what swatting is, and that is the swatting murder of Andrew Finch, a innocent man in all of this. He did not ask to be killed. He did not ask to be involved in all this. But this is what happens when gamers have a lot of free time. They're looking for revenge on other gamers. Then they come up with swatting. And swatting can be very dangerous. You never know what address a swatter's going to give. In 1 minute, you can expect to see lots of police action outside your front door, and you may be clueless. Well, that could be swatting. So my thoughts on this case, very, very sad. My thoughts and prayers go out to the Andrew Finch family. I could not imagine what you guys went through, losing your son, your husband, your father over something so stupid that your Andrew Finch had nothing to do with. Very, very sad. I think Tyler Barriss was a very sick individual. He already had a record of being a felon. He was already arrested for harassing women, threatening his grandmother, and then he decided that, you know what, he's going to make swatting one of his favorite hobbies. And he did. He swatted a lot. Like I said earlier, he swatted all over the States, all over Canada. So I'm glad he got caught when he did, and no one else had to lose their life due to his stupid SWAT calls. I don't understand why people like to SWAT. It's dangerous, it's deadly, and it's a waste of our 911 resources because these cops think they're going to a real emergency, but they're going to a prank. And that call could have came for someone that was dying or was in real trouble. So I think this is a good example of how we can evolve as citizens. We need to teach our teenage video gamers never use swatting because A, swatting is dangerous. Someone could die, and they could die from your stupid video game revenge. So we need to make sure that swatting never happens again. And I never ever want to see a story on swatting ever again. All right, and that is this week's episode of On the Case with me, Detective Alex Cardinale. I hope you enjoyed our brief but fun episode. My thoughts and prayers go out to the Andrew Finch family. Next week on the Case with Alex Cardinale, I'm going to talk about the texting murder of Justin Bloxam. Justin Bloxam was a young 12-year-old boy who was murdered by a pedophile. So learn about the texting murder of Justin Bloxam and how he met his fate. We return to Monday nights. Monday, May 9th, 2022. That's next Monday. Learn about the murder of Justin Bloxam, 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific. And don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, the legendary Alex Cardinale, for all future episodes of On the Case with Detective Alex Cardinale and all my other wonderful series. Stay safe, everybody. If you see something, say something. And what I mean by that, if you see a crime being committed, even if it's theft or a physical beating, report it. You may just be a lifesaver. So if you see something, say something. Stay safe, everybody, and I will see you on Monday for the next episode of On the Case with Detective Alex Cardinale. Ted Hood! Sergeant Alex Cardinale here, inviting you to be a part of the inaugural Memorial Day 2022 Bash, hosted by me, Sergeant Alex Cardinale. The inaugural Memorial Day Bash airs live Monday, May 30th, 2022 at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, right here on my YouTube channel, the legendary Alex Cardinale. The 2022 Memorial Day Bash is being hosted by me, Sergeant Alex Cardinale. And on the Memorial Day 2022 Bash, I will discuss the history of Memorial Day, and I will discuss why we celebrate Memorial Day. We're going to pay our respects to all the brave men and women out there fighting for us and this great country. USA! USA! Also on the inaugural Memorial Day Bash, I am going to address the veterans. Yes, that's right, Sergeant Alex Cardinale is going to address the veterans. We're also going to have a very special guest. That's right, we're going to have a very special guest. Former Army member James Anthony will be our very first guest for the first time ever on a holiday bash. That's going to be incredible. So we're going to speak to a former Army member as we pay our respects to the United States of America, men and women who serve in our Army and in our military. There's also going to be an appearance by Chef Alex Cardinale, and Chef Alex is going to give you the best recipes to make for the veterans in your life. There'll also be an appearance by Aqua Alex, and Aqua Alex will talk about how fish tanks can help veterans. And if Chef Alex and Aqua Alex don't do the right thing, I'm going to have to put them in the camel clutch and the cobra clutch. Maggots! So the inaugural Memorial Day 2022 bash goes down live Monday, May 30th, 2022. Live, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, on my YouTube channel, the legendary Alex Cardinale. Come join me as we pay our respects to the United States military men and women, all those who serve, past or present. Don't be a maggot. Be there and be square, and let's pay respect to all the great military men and women. And that's an order. You're all dismissed.